Well, hello everyone. Yes, it is the 1988 Bass Tracker, but we have a new member of the Gant Outdoors team joining us for the year 2026. It's not a person, it's a thing. It's a brand new Mercury outboard motor, which I have never started yet. And we're gonna try and start it right now. And this is it. The 2026 Mercury 20 horse 4-stroke motor. And we're gonna try starting it right now. Here we go. Hope it, well, let's see. Electric start, believe it or not. Oh my God, it started. I'm gonna put it in reverse. I do not know how to run this motor, but it started. I did start it for a couple seconds in my driveway, so I guess I lied a little bit. But this is the first time that it's been out on the water. It's shooting water out the back, so that's a good thing. Kind of came out here to Dutch Hollow where I know it's going to be good depth. But I got to start the break-in period on this thing now. So I'm going to be out here putzing around, and maybe once we get going here, I'll kind of show you a few of the features on the new member of our team. The Mercury 20 horse 4-stroke, fuel injected, all that good stuff. All right, it already sounds much quieter than the previous motor. All right, I'll get back to you when I figure out how to make this thing go. All right, we are on the water and we are moving. Now we have to follow these break-in procedures. So today is just about doing a little break-in on the motor. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It says for the first hour of operation, run the engine at varied throttle settings up to 2,000 RPM or approximately half throttle. All right, I can maybe do that. So for this first hour, we're just gonna change the speed up a little bit, but we're not gonna go any faster than half throttle. And then we'll see what happens after that. It's windy out here too. Second hour looks like we can do the same thing, but I can go up to 3/4 throttle. And at full throttle for approximately 1 minute every 10 minutes. Okay, so once we get to the second hour, once in a while we can open it up for a little bit for 1 minute. All right, so we're gonna start just putzing around the lake here a little bit and see how this motor performs. I can show you a few little items on it right now if you want, and let me get out here more to the middle. The wind's gonna blow me back the other way. I'm gonna shut it off. Oh, I should have had it in neutral first. First thing we have is the adjustable handle. It'll lock up, it'll stay locked. I can unlock it with this. Oh gosh, I gotta attach this kill switch thing to my body. Never had that in the 1988 model, did we? So I don't know, maybe I'll put it on a belt loop. Then if I get thrown overboard, the motor should stop. The tiller itself, you might notice the handle, when I bought it, the handle would come straight out, but you can actually tilt it by loosening this nut, and then you can actually bring the handle a little this way or a little that way, however you want. I'm not sure if this is exactly where I want it or not, but today that's where it's at. The handle, I might want it to come down a little farther now that I'm here, and that you can do with this nut or screw right here. I'm going to turn that down a little bit, and then it brings down the level of your handle. Hopefully I never see too many of the check engine lights or anything that says anything's going bad. This dial makes the throttle easier or harder. It's like a tension thing. We have another tension for steering friction setting. Right now the motor goes back and forth nice and easy, but when we're on plane, if there's a little torque or prop torque or something, we might want to slide this lever, and now it makes it stiffer steering, so might not have as much effect on the torque, the prop torque. So right now I'll turn that to not so much. We have here the settings for shallow drive. There's one click, which really doesn't do a whole lot, and then one more brings it up into the shallow water. I'm wondering if that's going to come up far enough for my liking. I guess they know better than I. I thought my old motor kind of tilted up a little bit further, but I could be crazy, I don't know. And then there's one more setting that will bring it all the way out of the water, like so. So then to put it back down, do the switch and let it down nice and easy, and it goes all the way down now. What am I forgetting? If I'm forgetting something, I'll remember it later. But that's the basics. Had it on the water for 15 minutes now. So far, so good. So this will be my initial break-in for today, just for the first hour or two. And then after that, we'll be able to open it up a little bit more and see if it gets the boat up on plane, which I'll be interested to see. They told me that this motor would have as much or more get up and go as my old two-stroke. So we'll see. I'm loving the electric start already. Look at that. That is nice. Well, I've been out here for almost the first full hour, and I have yet to try to actually start the motor using the pull rope. I've been reading the instructions, and we're going to give it a try. I'm not quite sure how this is going to go. It seems kind of different. You got to pull on the rope till you hear the beep, and then pull hard and it'll start, or let's just see what happens if we pull the rope. Oh. That's weird. It started. I think there's a trick to it. It seemed a little difficult to start, but the one thing that I'm wondering is, my salesman told me that they designed these motors to be portable, meaning you don't need the battery to start the motor. At least that's what the impression that I got is. I don't need a battery to start the motor. But I just read in the manual that if this motor has charging capabilities, meaning that it will charge my battery, which it will, it says it will, this motor, even if I start it manually, it says that it should be hooked up to the batteries, otherwise it could cause damage. That's not exactly how I recall my salesman telling me this works. He said I didn't necessarily need a battery because the motor is designed to be portable and not necessarily need the battery if I start it manually. I'm gonna have to look into that, but hopefully I don't really need to start it manually very often. Don't know if you can see that. Important: outboards with battery charging capabilities must not be operated with battery cables disconnected from the battery. Damage to the charging system may result. Okay. All right, we are on our second hour of break-in. We're gonna try and maybe get her up to speed here a little bit shortly, but it said I could go half throttle for the first hour. A half throttle would be something about like this. I would say that's about half throttle. We're going at about 11 miles an hour. 11 miles an hour at half throttle. Okay. We're gonna try going to 3/4 throttle for the first time ever with the new 20 horsepower motor. Stay tuned, we are going to 3/4 throttle. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. All right. That was kind of fun. Okay, so that I believe was about 3/4 throttle. We got up to about 19 miles an hour doing that, like 19 miles an hour. So I'm gonna wait just a little bit, but the next time I turn on the camera, it says that we can go to full throttle for up to 1 minute, but we can only do that for every 10 minutes. So before I leave today, I want to at least put it on full throttle for like 1 minute. That's what it says we can do. So get ready. It's going to be exciting. All right, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm going to open it up all the way. We got some wind. I'm kind of in a calm spot here. We're going to open it up all the way. It says I can run it for 1 minute at full throttle. I got a clock right here on my fish finder. Probably won't go the full minute, but here we go for the first time. Mercury, brand new 20 horse motor, gonna go to full throttle. Are you ready? I don't know if I am, but let's see. Here we go. We're moving. 21.4. 21.6. seemed like we lost power there a little bit. Are we still okay? Got up to about less than 22 miles an hour, but it got up to 21.6, 21 point something. Kind of almost seems like we lost a little power there toward the end. We're gonna have to do another test. Actually a little bit slower than I thought it might be. All right, we're venturing into a very shallow little bay here. You can hear how quiet the motor is running. Very smooth, very quiet. I'm going to put this up into the shallow mode. All right. Fish finder says we're only in 3.6. I'm going to go in here a little bit and we'll see how shallow we can get. Don't want to get crazy or anything, but at the same time I want to know. We are on 2.5 feet. Still doing okay. I'm going to put it in neutral. 2 feet. 2.1, 1.9. We still seem to be okay at 1.9. Engaging propeller at 1.8 feet. We are not touching the bottom. 1.8, 1.9, 1.6. You can see how shallow we are. 1.7 feet. This is okay. This is okay. If I'm feel safe at 1.4 feet, I can see down there. We're not hitting anything. No, this is not a rocky thing. So I mean, if I did touch, it wouldn't be the end of the world, I don't think. But 1.7 feet, and we're good. Also, before I forget, the friction control for the prop torque seems to work very well. With my old motor, I could not, at this speed, I could not let go of the motor at all. The motor would want to turn. It would want to turn to the right. But with this, so far, being able to adjust the friction, that seems to work good. No complaints there. Okay, we're gonna do another test at full throttle. I'm gonna be going pretty much straight into a pretty stiff wind. So let's see what it can do. Let's see if we can get over 20 miles an hour going into this stiff wind. Are you ready? Because here we go. Got up to about 21.4 or 21.3.4. So we did get over 20 miles an hour, which is okay, I guess, going into the wind. I think going with the wind, I would think we could get a little bit better than that. So we'll see. We'll see. Not bad. Overall satisfied. Maybe hoping for a little more, but no complaints. Seems like a good motor. Definitely quiet, smooth, all the things it's supposed to be. And it's only a 20 horse motor. Probably should have went with a 25. Probably would have loved to have a 30. But that's a little bit out of the budget. I know, Mrs. God would say you can't take it with you. I know.